Hey guys, good afternoon, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Today's Friday, June 23rd. It is 6:21 right now. Markets are open in about 9 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. Man, good afternoon. Where did that come from? It's Friday, guys. I'm ready to get off and out of this market for the weekend. I feel like it's been a short week, I think. So we had Juneteenth. So yeah, every time we have a holiday week like that, it kind of throws me off because I'm not just kind of like out of the loop. But anyway, guys, happy Friday. Took a couple trades. I took one trade pre-market and I took one trade last night, applying board testing the new strategy on the 1 hour. Not really a new strategy, but something different. So let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. And we can get started shortly. All right, it's good to go. All right, I'll give a few moments for people to make their way in. We do have some news coming up here, I believe, like at 6:45. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark that up real quick because it's just one news event. We got one news event over here at 6:45, flash manufacturing PMI, flash services PMI, 6:45, just so we're aware. So we're gonna have to look for that liquidity push like pretty quick on open. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start off by marking up liquidity. Again, today, guys, I'm not really going to mark up too much because I'm not expecting price to really move too crazily. Well, I mean, I'm expecting price to move, but not far enough to really get past certain points. So I'm just going to put daily. 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 All right, I think that's it for the dailies. Let's go over to the 8-hour. Eight hour. Yeah. 8-hour. Let's go over to the 4-hour. Hour. 2-hour. 2-hour. Right down there. 1 hour. There's a lot of liquidity sitting up here. Price has been pretty much bearish since Asia session yesterday. So and maybe we'll get that bullish push today, but we'll see. I'll check what the bias is too or I'll try to before market opens, but market is going to open pretty shortly. we're good with that there. Let's go down to the 30-minute. Yeah, I'm not gonna mark up the time. I'm just gonna mark up the levels because we already know they're gonna be weak. Actually, I'll mark these up because these are 30-minute. Anything below that, I'm just gonna leave it as is, like the 15 and 10. I already know those are weak, so I'm not really gonna bother with them too much. Maybe eventually we might even stop marking them up, but at the moment they're still useful. They're just good points to identify. To the 15, 10. Yeah, because you guys can see here on the lower time frames, it's just it looks like noise. It's like too much stuff there, and it just doesn't look good. So, anyways, there's the liquidity marked up. So we got everything marked up right here. Closest liquidity is above. It's 30-minute liquidity. I mean, it's pretty far out. It's about 1,300 pips, so it's got a distance to go. There's no liquidity on the bottom. So I mean, we'll see. Price is a bit overextended for a sell though. So I mean, price may shift back up, but we'll see what happens in a few. Here's a clean the main chart. I'm gonna go ahead and just mark up or write up today's overall bias, retail sentiment, fundamental bias, short-term technical bias, long-term technical bias. All right, market's gonna open soon, so I'm gonna do this really quick. I'm not really gonna explain what I'm doing, but you guys know what it is for the most part. I'll explain a little later when I review it, but it's 55% short. Fundamentals currently down a lot, 198 points red, so they're super bearish. Technical, we'll just take a quick look. Bearish, 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 all bearish. Okay, so everything's bearish. I mean, it's way too bearish at this point, but it wouldn't matter because there's no. All right, so I'm probably not going to look for buys today for the most part, because of the obviousness, right? We're obviously looking for sells here. Overall bias is very bearish, so I don't think I'll be looking for buys here very much. You can see, and we'll take a look at liquidity right now. I mean, it wouldn't matter because there's no sell liquidity, but yeah, unfortunately, there's not this. It just doesn't look like there's going to be any liquidity push today. This is why I was kind of inclined to look for some pre-market moves because of that specific reason. So there might not be liquidity today, but we'll look for some V1 variations possibly. I mean, we'll see. Market is opening in about 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. There goes open bell. There you go, guys. Market open. So market is now open. Price is dumping super heavy right here. I would be careful chasing any sells because price looks like it may be a bit overextended. Also, this current candle right here is a bit of a messy candle, as you guys can see. Big wicks on both sides. That shows a lot of uncertainty in the market. Overall bias right now is pretty much super bearish. All the trades I took last night were bearish too. So yeah, let's see. Sam said best groups hand down. Best group hands down. And Alicia said, I believe I only surround myself with progressive people, and this group is very progressive. Blessings. Yeah, a lot of you guys did pretty good pre-market and Asia session. So like Alicia over here, she killed it like pre-market. She took a couple trades. She locked in about well over 4,000 for the day. She was taking the sells off US30, just like I did. She did pretty good. She did well over 4,000 for the day. She's been growing this account since 4,000. She's now up like 50K, so it's crazy. Here are my trades. I didn't look at my new trades. Anyways, I just want to show you guys the market. We're looking for sells here, but you guys can see that price is a bit overextended, and there's no liquidity down here, so it's hard to really identify when to make entry. So I'd be careful looking for entries here, guys. I'd be looking for V1 variations, basically a retracement and then a correction back to the downside, but we just don't have anything yet. There's no liquidity down below. We tried to look for liquidity here on the daily. There just was nothing there. Next level of liquidity is so far down. It's like we're not going to see it anytime soon. Weekly liquidity, there's nothing down there. Monthly liquidity, there's liquidity down there, but it's so far out that price is not going to get, well, I mean, it probably will get there by today, but it's right here. The closest area of liquidity would be this 2-hour level right here, which is about 2,580 pips. That's a long way down, right? So I don't know if that area of liquidity will get hit by today, but I mean, we'll see. We'll look for some V1 variations as price retraces back up. So like right now, no entries for us to take. It's a bit of a crazy Friday. And this whole week's been kind of crazy with the price movement, crazy in a good way, because I don't think we've had any losses this week, just had a lot of straight wins, and everyone's been killing it. So the trade that I took this morning and last night, here's my account with all my trades. Here is my main account. This is my main FTMO. You guys can see the green strip. I locked in a total profit of 4,340. The first trade right here was the 1-hour trade. I took this last night during Asian session with Maddie and Gian. Thanks to those guys for helping me forward test it. They've been letting me know when the entries come up if they look good. And then I just confirm it after and I take it with them if it looks good. So this is from that 1-hour strategy. This was from a V1 variation this morning. So currently at 4,340 on my main account. Here is my FTMO copier. I currently locked in 4,140. Same thing, same trades. Here's my MFF number 1, total profit of 1,370. My MFF number 2, total profit of 1,570. And on my third account, same thing, 1,370 as well. So pretty decent. I just one pre-market trade and one market trade from Asia session. I typically don't trade Asia, but since I am forward testing that new strategy, not really new strategy, but a fine tuning of a very old strategy that I used to apply when I first started trading. So we're going to keep testing that for the next couple of weeks, next couple of months. And then if it seems solid, then, I'll show it to you guys. Super simple strategy. So I'll try to get in and show you guys that at some point. So let's see who's here so far. Morning Akash, morning T, morning Satya, morning John. Morning, everybody. We got Casey here. Morning, Casey. Morning, Daniel. Morning, Van Harwig. Morning, Søren. Morning, Kenny. Morning, CJ. Morning, Maria. Morning, Kaner. Morning, everybody. Rashida said there was a 3-hour level just hit TP. Nice. So Rashida actually identified a 3-hour level. I never go on that level, but if you guys do, it looks like Rashida caught it, so that's solid. Barack's asking, morning, Team K, liquidity entry today. There's no liquidity on the bottom that was close enough. Liquidity on both sides are too far, Barack. First level of liquidity is up here. It's a 30-minute liquidity. It's about 2,000 pips away. Next level of liquidity is down below. It's a 2-hour liquidity. It's about 3,000 pips away. So there's no liquidity that was nearby. Price was overextended for a sell, so there wasn't really much for us to take there. So there's no liquidity yet. It's pretty far from both levels. So I don't know if liquidity will even get hit today, but we'll see. We'll follow through and see where they come from. Let's see. Satyam said he got in at 629, took 15-minute liquidity, 100 pips only. Nice. So he took the pre-market liquidity right there. Satyam also took a V2 at 632. I don't see a V2 over here, Satyam. Also, the bias is bearish, so there wouldn't be any bias for any variations. So this would be a V3 pattern, but there'd be no entry there because the bias is bearish. So yeah, there's 3 different variations. There's a V1 variation, which is a double body, double wick. There's a V2 variation, which is a low red, strong green candle, and then the vice versa, high green, strong red candle. And then the V3 is like the most basic one. It's like you get a low with a red candle, and then it's the opposite candle after. So they go in degrees of strength. For V1s are always going to be the strongest, V3 is going to be the weakest. It's just a reversal pattern. So Nothing there. Talanji said, fake out Fridays, nothing to see here. Yeah, no, price is coming back up. So as price comes back up and continues to push up higher, we may possibly be looking for a possible V1 variation, but we just don't have anything yet. Plus, we have some high impact news coming up over here at 6:45. So you guys want to be very careful about looking for entries at that time because there is high risk that we're going to get a big spike right there. I mean, this is typical for Friday, guys. So if you guys are not familiar with how the market moves during the week, typically the market moves a bit unusual and a bit irregular on Mondays and Fridays. Reason for that is because people are exiting the market on Friday. It's, you know, kind of why you see this big spike right here. Price corrects back up, and then later in the session, people will sell off again. So Fridays, people are exiting the market for the weekend. So you get a lot of sell off sometimes. And then on Mondays, people are re-entering markets. So you get a lot of buy-in. So, you know, the market's kind of on Monday and Friday, you tend to see a lot of these weird movements. Usually on these days, you have high impact news as well. Like normally each month we have NFP on Friday, go figure, Friday, it's you know, tricky day. And then today we have ISM manufacturing news, or sorry, flash services and flash manufacturing PMI at 6:45. So in about 7 minutes, we have some very high impact news coming up. This is directly correlated to inflation and the US economy. So you want to be very careful about taking some entries there. I think the news is going to be negative. So that's why price kind of dropped down here a little bit. So this is what I see happening. I see price dropping down initially where it's supposed to go. Price pushes back up due to some manipulation. News happens right here at 7. Price comes right back down, or 6:45. And then it'll just swing right back down, right? But I wouldn't trade it. I mean, I would never recommend trading news. So just be careful. But I do think price will come back down eventually. It'll just correct back down. Depending on how this news event is released, you can see over here, it's forecasting it to be, they're forecasting flash manufacturing PMI to be positive, and then they're forecasting flash services PMI to be negative. So they're both opposites. So I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens there. There's no V1 here just yet, Casey. This is a double. So the bodies have to be lined up, or the wicks have to be lined up. So right here, the body for the red candle is a little higher. So unfortunately, no V1 variation right there. Also, the rejection is happening right at opening price right here. That's going to be considered a red flag. So I'm going to put up the criteria over here, guys, for you. So this is what the V1 variation looks like, but you also have to factor in the red flag. So you're not supposed to take any V1 variations when price is near any of these avoid markers. So basically any horizontal lines, if you know, price is touching or near any of these lines going left to right, then generally you're supposed to skip them because that's an area of manipulation. So whenever price is near session, so purple, green, red, horizontal lines in your opening price, the blue one, and then your news price, which is going to be pink, which we don't have yet. But when this news event comes out here at 6:45, we'll have that set up. So no V1 yet, but that's kind of what we're looking for. We're looking for that setup there. But we do have news coming up in about 5 minutes. So I probably would sit tight, just wait and see how market reacts to news. I do think price will come down, but we'll have to see. I can't say for sure, but we'll see. We got some profits over here from Kenny. Kenny took some sells on open, total profit of 4,337 for the day. Nice work, Kenny. So as you guys can see, like, you know, we gave an analysis this morning. I mentioned that the overall bias is bearish. I'm sure this is the thought process that went through Kenny's head. I know Kenny can't really explain it himself, but I know how Kenny trades, and he just listens to my analysis. This morning before market open, I identified today's overall bias was bearish. I said I was looking for sells, but price was a bit overextended. When price started to crash down a little bit, I know how Kenny trades, so I know Kenny took some sells there, and I can see the timestamp here. He entered at 6:30 and 6:31, right? You know, if you guys have been trading with me for a while, I started to understand how you guys trade. Like I know everyone here. Like if everyone has been trading with me for over the years, I know your trading style. I know how you trade. I know where you make entries. Like you don't even have to tell me, because I look at your timestamp and I remember my analysis from that time. I told everybody it was going to be a sell, right? I said price was going to come down. Kenny entered right here at 6:30 and then 6:31. These two big red candles right here. He just followed my analysis. There's no strategy to it, but he followed what I was telling you guys. He took those two trades right there. Total profit of 4,337. So nice work right there, Kenny. The thing with Kenny is like, it's crazy because Kenny doesn't really have a set strategy. And I only know this because, you know, Kenny's been trading with me for what, like 5 years now. or 5 to 7 years since we started the group. And Kenny doesn't really have an explanation for why he takes trades. He just kind of enters when he thinks price is going to go in a certain direction that I predicted. So nice work right there, Kenny, and solid profits. We have some more profits here from Casey. Casey locked in a total profit of 2,466 right here for US30 on the sell. I think your time is ahead, so I'm assuming this was 631 when you took it. Nice profit right there, 2,500. So about the same trade that Kenny took, because Kenny over here is at 631. Gotcha, yeah, 631 too. So Casey did the same exact thing. Took the trade in that direction. So great work right there, guys. Kenny and Casey. See, they both took the same trade that wasn't even explained. They just knew price was going to come down because we analyzed it for a sell. So great work right there, guys. And we'll keep looking for more entries here. So there's no entries coming up yet, guys. We do have news right here at 6:45. So you just want to be a little careful with this here. Just be patient with it. So I would probably recommend that you wait for the news to happen, see how price reacts to it. Like I would personally want price to push up higher. So I want news to be negative, and I actually want price to go up, because when it comes back down, it's going to come back down super hard. So instead of it pushing straight down on news, I want it to push up, go opposite, and then have a V1 variation up here and then come right back down. That sounds a lot more clean to me versus just price dropping from where it's currently at, and then people get caught chasing the sells, and then they end up getting stopped out because price is going to reverse back up in manipulation. So just keep that in mind, guys. You always want to be 2 steps ahead of the game. Before you enter a trade, think about like what the retail traders are doing, right? You don't want to act like a retail trader. We are retail traders, but you don't want to act like them because typically retail traders are the people that get wiped out first, especially in this type of market. You guys can see that price is right at opening price. There's not really much of movement here. It's kind of how it was moving the other day. It's just going back and forth. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to mark up the highs and the lows of the session. And that's kind of where price is at right now, or where it's been going. Not really doing too much. Maria's asking if this was a double wick. No, it wasn't. It was close, but looks like it was this green one is a little higher, or it might be. Let me see. It's kind of hard to tell because it was so close. So yeah, it looks like it could have been a double wick right there, Maria, for a V1. It's too close to news though, and it's right at opening price. So it'd be considered a red flag. Yeah, it was close, but you did identify that properly. Let's see, Brock is asking, there was a strategy that we used to use where you would take sells when price rejects off the red pivot and the trend meter was red, like that one that just happened. I think you might be talking about the SR rejection scalp strategy, Brock. It would have to reject off the SR zone too. So there's no SR zone there, so that wouldn't be an entry. Or you might be talking about the snipe strategy. There's a lot of strategies that could, it might be the snipe strategy actually, but that would be on the higher time frame, like a 10-minute. So if there was a zone there, that would be an SR rejection scalp. If it's just off the pivot and a zone, that might be snipe strategy. The snipe and the SR rejection are very similar. It's just the SR rejection is easier because he doesn't require the pivots. All right, so there's not really much movement here off the news candle, guys. I think price will be reacting to it. It's just not reacting to it yet, which typically happens a lot. Sometimes you get news come out and it's high impact and the market doesn't react to it until later. So that's why I was saying to wait for it to react before making any moves. So the news event over here, first news event, flash manufacturing PMI, it was negative 46.3. They were forecasting to be 48.6. It's actually very down. Right here for flash services, PMI was 40. it was 54.9 last month. They're forecasting to be 53.9. It was 41.1. So it's still technically negative. They're both negative news events. It's just not red because it's not lower than what they expected, but it's still lower than what it was last month. So the news there is still negative overall. We'll see how market reacts to it. I actually wouldn't mind if price pushes up, just like I mentioned earlier. I kind of want price to push up a little bit. Maybe consolidate around that area and then come back down. We'll see. We'll see how this ends up playing out. There's no need to predict the market. Like I never really predict the market. I kind of assume where price is going to go, but I never predict like, oh, this is for sure going to go here. I just like to have scenarios set out. So we have an idea for what to look for. So keep watching for this here and we will continue looking. Yeah, Talanji said he still uses a 10-minute snipe for confluence. It still works well as a confluence. Yeah, exactly. Brock said, understood. When I get the setup, I'd like to test entries with the two strategies combined, snipe and SR zones. Yeah, no, exactly. They both work very well. Like Talanji here, he said he still uses it as a confluence. Because typically what you can do is you can go on the 10-minute time frame. You can identify a snipe strategy, because then once you have a snipe strategy marked up, it's like a 500 pip move. Once you have that lined up right there, you can take scalps within it. So you can go on the 10-minute, identify the bigger move, and then go down to the lower time frames and identify entry points on those time frames there. So it's pretty useful to see how it goes. Andrew said probably going to reject off the Asia low. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of where I see happening too. And that's what I marked up here earlier. Let me see if I could, I deleted my markup, but I had like an arrow marked up there. There we go. It's like a little test, retest, fake out, and then come back down. So this is what might happen. Not for sure, but you know, that's kind of what I see happening possibly. Nice. Alicia over here is chasing those sells. So nice work right there. Some more profits on her account. Total profit of 180 right now. So nice work right there, Alicia. Let's copy these over too. Thanks, Casey. All right, so guys, just a reminder, I'm never going to message you guys first. Casey just messaged me. He said that he got a message from a user pretending to be me last night. His name was Kodi Traded. So when you guys, whenever you guys get a message from anyone that you think might be me, just double check it. Make sure, well, it's never going to be me. So just keep that in mind. There's a V1 variation setting up right here, guys, but it's a little bit risky because it is touching the sessions right there. And it's getting close to the news price. I'll mark it up, but I'm not going to take this trade. I just want to show you guys a V1 variation. This is an actual setup. It's kind of lining up with my markup right here. It came up, tested the Asia session, and then now it's coming back down. So this is the V1 variation that's currently running. I'm not taking it because it's at a red flag. Again, like I mentioned over here, guys, you can't take trades when price is near sessions, opening price, news price, etc. There's just a bunch of red flags around this area here, as you guys can see. This session right here, price is touching it, so you don't want to trade around those areas because you guys can see right here that price is being manipulated, right? It's just not a good area to trade in. So I'm just going to take this off. I don't want you guys to think that I'm in the trade, but I wanted to show you guys that's a V1 pattern right there, but it's not an entry because so for one, we confirm the overall bias, it's bearish. We have a high low right here, or a higher high actually. There's a double body rejection right there off the sessions. However, the main thing here is that price is touching the sessions. So if you ever take an entry, price can't be touching the sessions, because you can see right there, it faked out, right? Price came down and then it faked out right back up. That's why you want to avoid trades whenever price is near any of these horizontal lines. You don't want to take any trades near purple lines, green lines, pink and blue lines. These are just areas of manipulation. And if you go back, like you can literally go back and see these here. So if you look back, whenever price got near these areas, so you can see price kind of got near this purple line right here, it just consolidates and gets manipulated sideways. Same with the green side over here. Price gets near this green line over here. When price is away from it, it's fine, right? Price, when it touches it, it kind of gets manipulated. Price kind of fakes out again, comes back below. When price is away from it, it goes straight down and pushes down to the next level. So just keep that in mind, guys, in the future. Whenever most of you guys are already familiar with the red flags, but for you guys who are new here, if you ever want to test it, just go back and look at when price touches these lines. See when price is away from those lines, it's perfect. They move for perfect entries. When price is near them, you can see a lot of fake outs happen here. Price will bounce off, fake out, comes back up for the retest, fake out, then it breaks through it, and it's moving perfect. Comes back down, and there's just a lot of like messiness that happens around these horizontal lines. So that's why the red flags are very important, especially when you're applying basically any strategy. So yeah, Maddie said might fake out to the top, then drop back down. Yeah, there's another V1 variation that's setting up right here, but again, it's right at the sessions, so I wouldn't mess with it. Yeah, it looks like another double body right there. Double body V1 pattern, but again, not an entry, because if you were to take this trade here, it would still have to go through the sessions down below, right? So just keep that in mind. I mean, there's a lot of little things, like little nuances that you just have to understand. But once you look at the entries and you practice enough, it'll be second nature to you. So that's why I always keep the sessions on my chart, so I just never miss these red flag areas. I just didn't have it before because the strategy wasn't necessary for the high low momentum scalp, but for everything else, it is necessary. So we'll see. I mean, I'm not surprised price is pushing up because price is overextended. I mentioned this earlier this morning. This is why I don't want to take any sells immediately, because I said price has been pushing down since Asia session yesterday. Now price is pushing up, and we're just waiting for something here to play out. We got some more profits over here from Barty. So Barty said he took the pre-market liquidity dumps for 70 points, but he secured. And second entry is based off opening price rejection. So Barty over here took a couple trades, total profit of 517 for the day. Nice work, Barty. So solid work right there. So as you guys can see, like, even though we don't have any official trades coming up, a lot of people are just taking trades based off my analysis. So, if you guys sit in on enough sessions here, you guys will understand how everything works, because everything we trade is the same. We trade the same way every single day. My analysis is usually on point, and it's usually very similar to what was the previous day. It's just the market changes every day, guys. So you guys have to understand that the market conditions are not always going to be the same. So some days are going to be better than others. Like, for example, today, no official entries yet. Yesterday, no official entries. I mean, this whole week's going to be kind of choppy. Another thing that you guys want to understand is that this is a holiday week. So whenever we come back from a long holiday week, this is pretty normal for the markets to be moving a bit irregular. Once market goes back into full swing, I think next week is NFP, right? Let me go and just refresh this real quick. No, so it's not NFP. It's the last week of June. I'm sorry. NFP is going to be the week after. So the next week is the first normal week back. And then we have NFP after that. Gosh, I know, right? Yeah, the name's kind of all over. Natasha said, hello, everyone. I'm late. Did I miss anything? Not really, Natasha. We've been looking at liquidity, but liquidity is so far from current price. Like the top liquidity right there, 30-minute liquidity is about 900 pips away. The liquidity on the bottom, which is a 2-hour, is about 3,000 to 4,000 pips away. So we didn't have any liquidity this morning because there was no liquidity that was nearby. And then we had high impact news over here too. That was at 6:30 or 6:45. So there's just news this morning. So there wasn't really anything for us to take right now. We're looking for some V1 variations, but as you can see, prices in between all of these red flags. So it's not exactly the best area to look for these V1s, at least not yet. So it's all good. All right. So since there's not really much going on right now, guys, I'm going to go ahead and review the overall bias so that you guys have an idea as to where price is going. So let's start off with retail sentiment. So looking over here at retail sentiment, it is currently 55% short. This indicates that 55% of retail traders are currently selling right now. So we typically want to do the opposite and buy. This isn't a very strong bias. We typically want it to be 60 to 65% or more above in one direction or the other. Right now, it's only 55. So it's more so on the neutral side right now. It's still bullish, but it is bullish neutral. Looking over here at the fundamentals are currently down 185 points. This is indicating that the market is currently bearish. In order for it to be bearish or bullish, price needs to be above or below 100 points and consistently above or below those points. So with that said, we currently have a bearish bias with regard to fundamentals. So with that said, it's a bit mixed because retail sentiment's indicating to take buys, fundamentals are indicating to take sells. Short-term technicals, let's take a look over here. As you can see on the 1 minute, 5 minute, and 10 minute timeframes, the technicals are currently neutral. The 1 minute here is actually bullish because it's above the pivots. Trend meter is green, pivots are angling up. 5 minutes in between the pivots are sideways. The trend meter is still red, but it's neutral. So I would say for the short-term technicals, it's currently, I would just say neutral right now. It's not even in a direction. I would just say neutral. And long-term bias over here, you can see everything's bearish. Prices below the pivots, trend meter is red, pivots are angling down. So on the longer time frames, we can still say that that's bearish. So with that said, it's pretty mixed right now. There's not really much of an overall bias. Without an overall bias, we can't necessarily take any V1 variations, right? Because we need a bias to be confirmed first. So we'll see, where this ends up going. If you guys are looking to take that 1 hour entry, there's no entry here. Doesn't look like we're going to have one because we need to sell momentum in order for us to have that. As I mentioned, we look for entries on the 1 hour open. We're looking for momentum to be in the direction of price. Momentum here is bullish right now. Trend meter is red on the 1 hour. So there's not going to be an entry here for the 1 hour, unfortunately. If a sell signal comes up, possibly, but it hasn't come up yet. So if it doesn't come up right now on this specific candle, there's not going to be any entry because you can't get a sell signal on the next candle. So we'll see where this, ends up going. There's about 10 seconds left. So you got 10 seconds to see if the candle closes with the sell signal, which I don't think it's going to. Yep, and there's no sell signal there. So there's no entry there for the 1 hour. Akash said just 400 to go to pass the challenge. Hopefully a good entry comes and my weekend doesn't go into anxiety. Yeah, hopefully you get one entry today, Akash. I'm hoping so too. So, we'll see. Actually, we can wait for this one right here. If this here closes with a sell signal, then it may be a possible opportunity for that 1 hour strategy, but it's kind of iffy. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. Yeah, the wick on the bottom for this 1 hour is like way too big too. It's not really looking too great. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to close. So that 1 hour does not look like it's going to happen. It's like 5 seconds left. Yeah, no entry there on the 1 hour. But yeah, no, congrats to you, Akash. You're really close to passing. What I'd recommend is to not force anything, right? Just look for a quality entry. If I see something that's good and I say I'm going to take it, then take that trade. But don't take anything too risky because the last thing you want to do is blow it after you're getting so far into passing, right? I've seen a lot of people, it's crazy. I've seen people where they get like a few dollars away from passing. And for whatever reason, they take like a huge lot size because they think, oh, they just need to cash like a few dollars. And then it ends up going complete opposite of what they expected. So just keep that in mind. Akash, just look for a quality entry and then just guarantee your pass versus taking something risky. Another thing too, big congrats to Maddie here. I forgot to give Maddie his congrats. Is he here now? Yeah, Maddie's here. So Maddie just passed another challenge on FTMO. So yeah, here's Maddie over here. He just passed his challenge. Got funded and he's on his way. So nice work, Maddie. Maddie's just stacking accounts now. So he's basically doing what I'm doing. He's trying to like add on more accounts because he's consistent now. So big congrats to Maddie there. Congrats to everybody. If you guys are passing your challenges and staying consistent and getting verified and getting funded, congrats to you guys. Because it's just passing challenges is not that easy. Like a lot of people make it seem easy. I make it seem easy, but it's not that easy because, I was just talking to Andrew about it yesterday. The problem with passing challenges is that you guys have that, that pressure to pass right away. But if you just take your time, you can easily pass. Like Maddie here didn't even focus on passing; he just focused on winning trades, and then he passed his challenge super easily. So just take your time, guys. Like the thing is, like is my brother here? Justin. So my brother's not here, but my brother Justin, this guy's been getting free retries for like the past 6 months because he can't find consistency. He'll trade with us, he'll win, and then he'll do his own thing. And then he ends up going to draw down, and he takes a whole month to get back into break even. So for the past 6 months, he's just been making profit, losing it, making profit, losing it. And then at the end of the month, he gets a free retry. Last week, he finally passed it. He just followed what we were doing here. He stopped doing his own thing and he finally passed. So, my recommendation to you guys is your main goal should be to either pass or to get a free retry. There's no need to like pass in like 2 days. I was telling Andrew about this yesterday too. Like, a lot of people got excited because FTMO lowered their trading day requirement to 4 days. Those 4 days, that 4-day change isn't really beneficial for you guys because it makes you want to pass even quicker. So to a lot of you guys who got excited over that, I'm pretty sure you guys are actually doing worse trading because you're trying to pass within 4 days now. So just, keep that in mind, guys. They give you a full 30 days. And if you don't pass within 30 days and you're up like 6%, they'll give you an extension. And if you don't pass that, they'll still give you a free retry. So don't try to rush the process. Just get funded. And then once you're funded, you don't have to take every trade. Like, for example, for me, there's some days where I don't take any trades, right? You'll see a lot of people here posting profits, and there's going to be some days where I don't take any trades, like at all. This week, I've been taking a lot more trades because I've been testing the new strategy on the 1 hour. But typically, there's going to be days where I don't even trade at all, and I'm fine with it because I'm already funded, so I don't have to I don't have a profit goal to reach. I just make my profit, and then I take my payouts every 2 weeks. So, just keep that in mind. Life. I saw your message, life marketing, and then you just deleted it. I'm not sure what you asked. You asked about something about the indicators. I think you asked if you need the indicators to pass. Yeah, if you want to put it back up, you could live. You deleted it too quickly. I couldn't see what you said. Let's see. Andrew said V1 pending. Not yet, Andrew. You said never mind. Yeah, I know it looks like it's going to come up because it keeps swinging around. But right now, I don't think we'll have a V1 at the moment, Andrew, because we currently don't have a strong bias. Like I would probably wait for because the short-term bias right now, Andrew is not bearish anymore. So I would wait for the bias to come back down because the bias right now is not really aligned, right? Because the retail sentiment is still bullish neutral. Fundamentals are bearish, but the short term is neutral and long term is bearish. So we currently have 2 bearish and we have 1 bullish and 1 neutral. So I'd probably wait for this to align first before I look for any V1s because you want to for sure know price is going to come down. Like you don't want to take a V1 and then all of a sudden price keeps pushing up higher and higher, right? Because there's going to be, it's in the process of reversing to the upside. So what you're looking for is the correction back down. And then when it corrects back down, so I would actually want to see something like this, Andrew, so see how price is pushing up. Like I wouldn't mind missing the first V1 variation and then price coming down like this. Like a mountain, right? So I wouldn't mind missing this V1 variation right here to get into the one down here. Because this right here is going to be risky because at this point, price can still go up, right? So if you have you have it start shifting right here, it comes down, this one will probably hit, and I'm like, okay, whatever, just let it play through. And then this one comes through, and this one's going to hit too because it's going to keep continuing back down. Because if price does come back down, it's probably going to go down to opening price, right? Which is right here. So I'd probably hold off on it, at least until you have a better confirmation. Let's see, life marketing. Okay, so you retyped this question. You said, do you need to have access to the indicators to pass? Not necessarily, but I mean, you still have to like understand what you're doing. Like you can't just be like taking trades and not understand how the strategies work. Like you have access to the strategies without having to have the indicators. So if you know the strategies that we're applying and you're able to follow along on these live sessions, then you can just take the trades we take here on the live. So it's not necessary to have them, but it is recommended because it's a big difference if you have your own charts open and you're identifying the entries and then you're just listening to my analysis so that you can take the trade yourself, right? If you're waiting for me to analyze it and you're not able to identify yourself, by the time we enter the trade, you're probably going to miss the trade, right? But if you just base passing your challenge off results from the live sessions, because if you look at the results at the end of every week, right? The results from every week here will show you only the trades from the live sessions. These trades don't count the trades that I take outside. So if you look at the trades here, like for, let's see, the month of June so far, right? For the month of June, we have 10 wins and 1 loss. It's a total gain of 10.50%. So if you were to, if you were to take every trade here on the live session, and it's going to be difficult for you to take every trade unless you're like very dialed in. If you took every trade and you only had 1 loss, like how we did here on the live sessions, then you would have 10%. You would have passed your challenge, right? Same with May. For May, we had 16 wins and 0 losses. It would be a 15% gain. If you took every trade here, then you do great. But the thing is, if you're not familiar with the strategies and you don't have the indicators, it's going to be hard for you to really follow along unless you're like really paying attention, because you have to pay attention to every candle. We're trading on the 1 minute, so you can't be taking your eyes off my chart. But if you had this on your own chart, you'd be able to just anticipate the moves. Like you can hear from people in the group here, like Andrew, he's looking for a V1 variation, right? He has the indicator, so he's already looking for V1s, even though I'm not looking for them. So he can identify the entry. He can ask me, is that a V1? And I'm like, yeah, it's a V1 setting up. So he's already having his setup already marked up, and he's ready to just hit, sell when it happens. So it's just a matter of convenience, because if you don't have the indicators, you can still pass it. Like there's a lot of people here who pass and don't have the indicators, right? Like for example, people here who are in the public chat, like Barty here. Barty locked in 517. He doesn't have the indicators. He doesn't even have the premium. He's here on the YouTube with you. Same with Alicia over here, right? She's up, pretty well for the day too. She's on the free thing too. Casey here is in the premium, so he's posting in the public group, but he is in the premium. Kenny here is also in the premium. So there's certain people here who are still profiting, and they don't have access to any of the paid stuff. But I can't say that it'll be the same thing for everybody, because some people have that focus, some people don't, right? So it's just up to preference. Like, I mean, you can try to pass with these live session trades, but if you're on the YouTube, it's also delayed. So just keep that in mind. You're delayed like 10 to 30 seconds. So if we're entering a trade right here on the Zoom, we're probably out of that trade already by the time you enter the trade. So just keep that in mind. And just be key that you understand the strategies. I think if you understand it, you can anticipate the moves. All right, so there's still no entries for us here, guys. Don't worry. I know you guys were kind of getting antsy, but there's nothing for us to take here. Price is going sideways now. This is actually good because I actually want price to go sideways so that we can get that correction back to the downside. But again, we just have to wait. There's just no confirmation here. We're just being patient with the moves, waiting for that opportunity so we can hop into a trade here. And there we go. Price starts to swing back down. So now that price is starting to swing back down, we're going to look for this to produce an entry here for a V1. Natasha said high-low quick scalp hit. Nice. So Natasha here took a high-low quick scalp. That's a strategy that I don't even teach anymore, but Natasha knows it. If you guys have been around for a while, you guys know the high-low quick scalp. That strategy is very lucrative. You make a lot of money doing that, but you have to be very quick, and you also have to be paying attention. For that strategy, you for sure need the indicators. You can't do that without the indicators because it moves too fast. But yeah, no, nice work, Natasha. Yeah, I think she's like one of the few people who still applies that strategy. She basically trades when she sees the little wick or the low. And it does work out well. It's just you have to be very quick with it. Hey, Mercy Boss gone. Mercy Boss said stop loss hunt at London highs. The stop losses aren't until up here, Mercy Boss. So I don't even see any stop losses until price gets like way up here. So let me see where London highs at. The London high is very high up. So you actually have stop loss hunts right here, Mercy. That's pretty far. I don't think price will get to the London high. That's about 2,500 pips away. So, I mean, yeah, price may get to that point, but liquidity is like down here. This is a 30-minute liquidity. The higher liquidity is up there, yeah, with London high. So that what London high is where the strong liquidity is at, but there's lower liquidity down below here already. So yeah, price may hit liquidity here, but the bias is still bearish. So I don't know if that'll even happen. If anything, price might come back down from where it's currently at. But yeah, no, you're right. There is liquidity up there, and there's a stop loss hunt waiting, but that's so far away. Like, yeah, that's probably not going to happen today, unless like something. There's no other news events today, so I don't think there's any catalyst to really push price that far out. All the news events are done. Fed meetings are done for this week. I think price might just go sideways for the rest of the day, or it might range. So you can see right here, the volatility is dead. It's not even moving at all. So, you know, I'd probably look and see where price ends up going from here, but there's liquidity sitting right here, which is about 1,000 pips away. The liquidity on the bottom is super far though. Liquidity on the bottom is like maybe 3,000 or 4,000 pips away. So I don't see that really getting hit today. You know, price might get near it, but it's going to be tricky to catch that. Life said, thanks for answering. That clarified everything for me. Yeah, no problem, Life. I mean, for me here, guys, I don't really necessarily, I'm not really pushing to sell you guys anything. Like, if you guys have not noticed that by now, you know, everything that I do is offered for free, except if you guys want my indicators, because those indicators were not easy to build and my strategies were not easy to put together. So, and I'm still working on them every day. So like, you know, the thing that makes us kind of different from other groups is that I do give access to, well, I pretty much give free access to like literally everything. You can watch every video I posted over the 7 years, and that's available to you guys. You guys have all my strategies. The indicators though, I'm constantly working on them. So the difference between our group and a lot of other groups is that a lot of other groups just resell repackaged information, right? You'll see a lot of people selling strategies based off like support and resistance, supply and demand, what people call smart money concepts, stuff like that. For me, I create my strategies from scratch. So all this stuff is all created for me and I'm constantly using it. So I'm not like showing you guys stuff that I don't apply. Everything that you guys are taught in the course or taught within the website, I'm doing every day, and I trade live every day. So you guys can see me actively doing it. It's not like I'm putting together some like random course and then selling you some supply and demand course where I don't even apply it. I'm actually applying all these momentum trades. So yeah, you know, my goal here is not necessarily to sell you guys anything. I do this stuff out of just because I want to. Because the thing is, when I trade with you guys here on live, it forces me to become a better trader. Like I can't make mistakes here on these live sessions, because if I make mistakes, then you guys will think I'm a fraud, right? So I got to make sure that I'm on point. Everything here that I do is, it's all calculated, right? Like I don't take any random trades here. I'll see trades and I'll mark them up and I'll tell you guys, oh, this is a possible entry, but I'll tell you if I'm taking it or if I'm not taking it. But if I do tell you that I'm taking a trade, it's usually going to be a good trade, because I'm not necessarily taking anything that's like a whatever trade. I'm typically only looking for the high quality entries. So yes, I have said, because you're a good person, John. Well, like for me, I believe in good karma, guys. So like for me giving you guys free trading advice, trading for you guys live for free every day, free mentoring, free everything, really. I just see that as good karma, because like I see that it'll come back to me eventually, and it's come back to me tenfold. So like I've been trading live and giving free advice and free training for like what, 5-7 years now, and my life's been it's been going nowhere but up. So I'm just I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing, and just keep doing. It's just the same process every day. So yeah, unfortunately, there's just no entries right now, guys. If there was an entry, I would let you guys know, but I am looking for maybe possibly one entry here. We just don't have anything here right now. And I think the main thing with trading as well is that you guys need to understand when not to trade. I feel like with a lot of people that don't do good at trading, like if you guys haven't been consistent, what I would recommend is to document your trades. And I could almost guarantee if you guys document your trades, if you look at the trades that you lose, a lot of those trades could have been easily avoided. And if you would have just avoided those losing trades, you would have been very consistent. So just keep that in mind. Like, let's see, is Will here? I don't know if Will's here right now. Yeah, Will like messaged me yesterday and he was like, bro, he's like, he just realized yesterday that, because he was in our group before and he was like kind of criticizing the way we trade. And he was like, dude, I've been doing like all these different courses. And he said that the main problem with him was just his ego. Like he couldn't like, he would win trades with us during the live session and then he loses trades and then he blames the system or he blames other people. But he realized that like once he stopped blaming people, he started becoming more consistent. So yeah, that is Will right there. Yeah, exactly. So Will is right there. He's out there on the YouTube. And it's fine because that's normal. Like Andrew here just commented in the Zoom. He said, definitely Sean, I would have had 2 accounts already. So, it's really just, you guys just gotta follow directions and you just gotta, drop your ego. Like if you're losing trades, reach out to me. If you're not consistent, message me and I'll help you get better. But you got to actually listen to my advice. You can't just like listen to me and then not listen and not do what I tell you to do. Because it's usually just one thing. Like if you stop trading outside the live sessions, you guys can do a lot better. I know I've been trading outside, but that's because I'm testing right now. Yeah, exactly. William said he's doing back testing has been helping him a lot. Yeah, if you guys are trying to put together a strategy, back testing will help you trust your strategy. So back to the charts, guys, there's nothing here available. I know we're going a bit off topic, but there's just nothing for us to take here. I'm looking for some V1 variations. I do like how price is coming back to the downside, but there's still no V1 variations here. So you can see where price is currently at. It's bouncing off the purple line here, which is the Asia low. As I mentioned, these are red flags. Whenever price is near the sessions, you should probably avoid trades. And you can see where price is currently at. Whenever price gets near these sessions, you start to get a unusual price movement, right? A lot of manipulation right there. It's kind of harder to see here because we have the indicators up, but if I was to turn everything off here. So if you had a clean chart like that, you can see that whenever price gets near these areas here, where these horizontal lines are, price gets manipulated, right? Price came over here. And I'm sure when people saw price break above this area, I'm pretty sure a lot of people did something like this. And I'm sure you guys have seen this before. People see price break structure. They try to enter a trade like that. And they go for like a 4-to-1, right? Which is fine. This is an okay way to trade. But look where price kind of got manipulated. Price pushed up a little bit, faked out from that top area, and then it came back down. Right. So what do you think is going to happen here? The people who entered that buy right there, they're going to get stopped out. Or it'll probably just go sideways for a bit. It'll go sideways for a bit and then it'll come back down. So it'll just go sideways. And then eventually it's just going to spike down and then stop them out. So that's the main reason why we avoid trading around these red flags. Because a lot of fake outs happen there. It's just not a good area to trade. And I've learned this over the years. That's why I created this indicator. Because my main thing was like, I was trying to figure out how can I avoid losses? Like I don't like losing trades. And I figured out, okay, these are red flags. These are when price tends to get manipulated. And that's why I started to put them up. So yeah, where price is currently at right here, I would probably anticipate price to come back down and retest opening price down here. It'll just correct back down to the overall trend because the trend was bearish pre-market. And price just got manipulated to the upside based off news over here, this pink line. And then now it's just correcting back down. So we'll see. Let's see, Mersabaugh is asking current price back to open. Possibly. That's kind of what I see happening right here, Mersabaugh. If price does break and close below the structure here and actually stays below this point, then yeah, I can see it coming down. So if price does stay below this purple line right here and it just continues dropping, then target price point is going to be opening price down here. Barty said I would have been up 1K, Sean, but tight stop loss in pre-market session. I mean, I would probably be, I would be inclined to have a tight stop loss during pre-market too, Barty, because the market is very unpredictable pre-market, especially on a Friday, and especially when with high impact news coming up like we did over here at 6:45. So looking at price right here, you can see price is still having trouble getting past the purple line, which is the Asia low. And just goes hand in hand with what I mentioned earlier, with avoiding trades around that point. Mersabaugh is asking, I'm like 2% away from passing my FTMO. Nice. Yeah, I would recommend just be patient, Mersabaugh. It's tough. Like once you get that close to passing, I feel like a lot of people start to make mistakes or they start taking a lot of risky trades because they just want to pass. But just use up your time. Doesn't matter if it takes you 2 days, 2 weeks, or even a whole month, like your whole time. Just take your time, because once you pass, then you can stop stressing over it. CK is asking if there's a pivot scalp at 708. I don't see any pivot scalp here at 708. There was a sell signal right here at 710, but this wouldn't be a pivot scalp because price would have to be going up. There would need to be a buy signal because the pivots here are bullish. But one thing as well is that, so this right here would be considered a pivot scalp actually. Okay. But I think the overall bias here is not bullish yet. So unless the overall bias here is bullish, then this would be a pivot scalp. But if you're just going off the 1 minute and not looking at overall bias, then yes, this would be a pivot scalp right there. This here wouldn't be at 710 because this is a sell signal. It's a sell signal and it's above the pivots. So there you go. That'd be the pivot scalp right there if you were looking for one. But I don't think it's one that we would be taking because the overall bias right now is still, so let's just take a look at the overall bias. All right, overall bias over here is still neutral for the shorter time frames. You can see the 1 minute is currently above the pivots. It's bullish. 5 minute here is in between the pivots. Trend meter is red. This is neutral. And the 10 minute over here is neutral as well. It's in between the pivots. Pivots are going sideways and the trend meter down below is red. Looking at the higher time frames over here, price is bearish. Price is below the pivots. Trend meter is red. Pivots are angling down. They're pretty much opposite. But you can see right there, the pivot scalp, if you were just going off the 1 minute, it would have hit right there. So yeah, okay, this right here would have been a pivot scalp if you're just going off the 1 minute only. There's different ways to apply it, but the way that I personally like to apply it is I like to trade in the direction of the trend, or not necessarily the trend, but I like trading the direction of the bias. So bias right now is kind of all over the place. The fundamentals are still very low. They're down 144 points. The sentiment here is the only thing that's really telling me to take bias. So if I was to look at just sentiment here, this would indicate that, okay, it's fine to take bias, but I don't necessarily base everything off the sentiment. Also, when it's not very strong, it's not something that I necessarily like to base my trades off. Yeah, Martha said, yeah, no bias for the pivot scalps. Yeah, I mean, it would have been a nice trade though. If there was a bias there, looks like it would have went straight to full TP. So you did identify that properly. Thanks, Andrew. Yeah, Andrew, so the Dow is currently down 158. So I'm just going to update that a little bit. It's starting to weaken a little bit, but it may just come back down. So again, another reminder why I don't trade around the sessions right here, right? So see what happened down here. Price comes down, retest, fakes out, comes down, retest, fakes out, etc. Okay, this is what I would look for now. I think if price comes back down further, I think it's actually going to break through. So I think on this next test of the sessions, if price does come through, it's going to break through it. There's a V1 variation right there, but again, there's no bias, so it's hard for us to tell. But if you aren't looking at the bias, yeah, that'd be a V1 variation right there, Siam. Yeah, it looks like it went straight to TP. All right, so what I've been doing lately is I've been making or I've been looking at a deeper analysis of US30 here. I pretty much mark up zones here on the 1 hour, 15-minute, and 5. You can see over here on the support area. Well, it hasn't tested it yet. So let's see. I thought it was testing it, but it was testing it on the 1 minute. So this area right here, price has been testing this area for a while. I was going to mark this up as a support area. But again, this is the 1 minute, so it's not as clean as the higher time frames. But anyways, so my analysis here for this specifically is, since price here is tested it a bunch of times, you can see price tested it here once. This is double bottom, triple bottom, quadruple bottom. I think now when price comes down for another test, so if price gets back to this area, I think it's going to blast right through this right here now. So I think when price comes down here, I think a lot of people are going to try to take the buy here because they think this is a strong support and their stop loss is going to be like right there. And they think price is going to bounce off it, right? But what I think is price is going to bounce, it's going to bounce and it's going to break right through. But this is like the 5th test. So price is coming down. I think it'll probably bounce a little bit and then just blast through like that. So this is typically what I like to do. I like to identify where people are trading. So, if you're a normal retail trader, you see this as a support, you think price is going to bounce off this point. I think price is actually going to break through and drop even further. And then if it does drop further, I'm expecting it to go down and probably retest the opening price down here. So we'll see where it ends up going. The problem with this here is that there's no bias. So like if we had a sell bias, then this would be perfect. Like it'd be a perfect setup. But it's just hard to take trades here because there's red flags and then also there's no bias. I would want like at least a technical bias. Like if we get a technical bias, great. But if it's hard to identify because short term is still technical. If you look over here, I mean, it's still neutral, but it is trying to come back down. Nice. Yeah, Rashida said she took the 1 minute, the V1 and rejected directly off the sell order block. Nice. Nice work right there, Rashida. Yeah, Maddie said the 15, 30, and 1 hour is still bearish. It's waking off the pivots. Yeah, I think if price comes back and retests this area, it's gonna come down. Let's see. Yeah, Maddie said, but it's Friday, so he's out. Yeah, it's only 7:30 right now, so I was gonna see if there was an opportunity for the 1 hour, but it's not time yet. I mean, price here. Let's go to the clean chart. Price is really just in a big range right now. It's probably not really doing too much. So we got the higher high right there and lower low right there. Yeah, so price is pretty much just ranging around this area right now. It's not really doing too much. Price is pretty much just ranging through here. Not really any opportunities to hop into, but yeah, if price does come back down further, the area for it to test is gonna be this lower level. And I think if and when it does test that lower level, it's probably gonna break through. And then maybe come back down to opening price down here. See if it goes down further. Yeah, you can kind of see it better here on the clean chart. So there goes, price gets down to that level at sessions down there. Come down to the sessions. Volatility is kind of dead too. It's not really doing too much. There it goes, blast through. Yes. Okay. So I took a speculative trade right there, guys. I trusted my analysis. There's like one time I finally went with my analysis right here. I'm not gonna count this trade, but it did exactly what I just mentioned right here, right? It broke through. So what I did is I took a sell when I saw this price coming down right here, and I just locked in a quick 100 pips. See my analysis right there? It did perfect. My analysis has been on point like every day this week. So I was like, okay, this time I'm just gonna take it because I've been giving everybody like fire analysis and I'm not taking any of the trades. So this time I was like, I'm just gonna take it. There's no strategy there. It's just I knew price was gonna come down. There we go. Should have just held on to it. Natasha said she took it for partial. Thanks, Sean. Definitely, Natasha. Damn, if I held on to this, I made way more. So I made 2,000 off this trade. If I held on to it, I made 6,000 if I held on to it down here. It's all good. I never think of that woulda, coulda, shoulda thought mindset. It's like I came in for what I came for, and I took it. Just came in for the 100 pips. Took the 100 pips for my speculative move right there, and I took it. So locked in my profit right there. I'll give you guys an update on my profit so far. I'm actually doing pretty good for the day, so I can't be mad at myself. Gion's asking if there's a V1. There's no V1 because there's no bias for a buy, Gion. You need to have overall bias. So there's no V1s here for either direction. Dang, my profit's crazy for the day. I wasn't expecting to be that high. So like, here's the thing, guys. Like, I never focus on my profits. I just focus on winning my trades. So I took 3 trades today, and my profits just blew up after that one last trade. How much did I even make on that one? I even got slippage and it didn't work out in my favor, but it just added up. Okay, so there's my profit so far for the day. And that's the key thing too, guys. Like whenever you guys are taking trades, don't like focus on your profits. If you focus on the number value of your profits, you're going to start to get greedy, and you're going to start to want to take more trades, or you're going to start to like make bad decisions. For me, I'm just focused on winning. I like literally just focus on winning my trades, and the profits are just extra. Like the profits are a given. If you keep winning, then your profits are going to happen whether you believe it or not. You're just going to see the profits add up. So let me just show you my trades for the day so far. I took 3 trades. Yeah. If it was a good trade, I would have told you guys to take it with me, but I didn't think it was a great trade. And then also, I was okay with taking the risk because I was like, I'm already up for the day. And that's a bad habit. So I talked about, is Kip here? Kip is not here right now. Anyways, yeah, Kip was talking to me about this yesterday. And he was saying that he has the bad habit of like just letting trades run when he's already in profit. And I'm the same way. It's like I was already in profit today from the past 2 trades from Asia session and pre-market, that I was kind of like, whatever, if I lose this trade, then it's all good because I already won and I'm just going to offset the losses. But it's a bad habit. It's a bad habit that I need to stop doing too. I need to just stick to, and that trade right there that I took, you could even consider that FOMO. Like I always tell you guys not to have FOMO, but even myself, I've been trading for so long and I still get FOMO. So don't be worried if you guys do get FOMO. It's something that doesn't necessarily go away. You just get better at controlling it. but still there's no entries for us right now. I know it's getting kind of boring. If there's any questions that you guys have, just put them in the chat. I'll answer whatever questions you guys have. Unfortunately, there's just nothing for us to take here right now. My setup that I marked up, I still think that's going to play out. So it's probably going to come back and retest opening price. Here's a clean chart. It's coming down even harder. This right here might be an SR rejection. Actually, no, it won't be. I thought there was a zone up here, but there isn't. The zone's down below. So looking for an SR rejection scalp. All right, so let's see. Yeah, Andrew said low volume. Cern said back to open. Anyway, let me just post my profits real quick. So here are my profits. So far, so yeah, it looks like right here, this is my main account with the green strip. You can see I'm a total profit of 6,320 for the day. Here is my second FTMO total profit of 6,120 for the day, all wins here. Here's my MFF number one account, total profit of 2,110. My MFF number two account, total profit of 2,110 as well. And here is my MFF number three account. Luckily, I got a little more profit on this one, total profit of 2,510. So pretty good. So far, I think Kenny here took a trade too. So Kenny's currently up 4,637 too. So Kenny just followed my analysis. He took the same trade I took and he locked in a little more there. So Kenny's up 4,637 for the day. Nice work, Kenny. Thanks. And thanks for trusting in my analysis there. Oh, it's all good. Yeah, Alicia over here said currently in these positions, once we hit TP, that's it for the day. Bless. Yes. So Alicia here is currently in drawdown for GJ. Hopefully it comes back. Hope it swings back direction. Yeah, hopefully. What else do we got here? We have, so here's a trade that Rashida took. She took the same V1 variation, but she saw it bounce off her order block, and then she took that for a sell, and then she just wrote it down. So nice work right there, Rashida. That's a nice setup right there. Yeah, she took it for 500 pips. She actually wrote it all the way down. So solid work right there with catching that. Yeah, it's clean. It's a clean entry. We got Natasha over here. Here's her other account, total profit of 435 for the day. All wins on this one. And then here is Natasha's other account, total profit of 970 for the day. It looks like she has an accidental loss right there, but everything is good. So solid profit there, Natasha, 970 for the day. So there's still nothing for us to take here at the moment. Let me see if there's anything else here that I'm missing. Nice. So Akash here actually took the trade that we took there for the sell. Passed his challenge. Nice. Congrats to Akash over here. Finally passed his challenge. So yeah, on to the next one. You know, get that funded account and then add another challenge and then just copy your trades like I do. No trades from Maria today. Let's see. Hussein's asking, hi, Sean. Hope you're doing well. I'm just curious to ask why you don't try 1-to-1. 1 to 1.5 or higher risk reward strategy, since at the end of the month results will still be solid, ain't it? No, it's not even. So Hussein, you ask like, and it's fine. You ask these questions all the time and it's just kind of like makes my head explode, bro, because it's like you're trying to fix something that's not broken. Like, and it's not going to be the same. It won't be anywhere near the same because none of the strategies that we apply are 1-to-1. So the results here from the the end of the month or whatever you're saying, none of these strategies would align with anything that you said, because none of these strategies are one-to-one. So if these were one-to-one, you'd probably have more losses, and you'd have more losses for sure. Because if you're doing a one-to-one, if you're going for 100 pip stop loss, 100 pip TP, you're gonna have way more losses, bro. There's no way you're gonna have anywhere near what I'm doing. I mean, you could try to say, if you want to be the lab rat for us here, and you want to do the experiments, like, you can try all the strategies and do one-to-one, and then let me know how you do at the end of the month. And then if you can prove that like it works well, the thing is, I'm not going to risk my account to show you that a one-to-one works here, right? What we're doing here works great. So I'm not going to fix what's not broken. If it's not working, then okay, I'm going to switch things up. But I've been doing this for years, Hussein. This isn't like I started doing this yesterday. So the thing is, like, here's guys, like, I'll give you guys what I'm doing. And if you guys think there's something better that you can do with my strategies or my indicators, then go do it. If you guys think it's cool, do it. And then come back when you have some actual like data and results. Because the thing is, I'm not going to go and do something completely different when I've been doing this for how many years with you guys and it works, right? There's no point in fixing something that's not broken. Yeah, CJ said you would always get stopped out, especially on the liquidity pushes. Yeah, Andrew said way more losses. So, I mean, it's up to you guys. You, again, like, I'll give you guys the tools. I'll give you guys the mentorship for like what I do. Hussein, I'm not going to teach you what I don't do. So if you want to go and do that, go, be my guest. Feel free to do it, because you do have the indicators and you have everything. And if you find something that works well, then great. I'm on your team on that. If you could find something, but I'm not going to go and do the heavy work and try to revamp what we're already doing to see if it works, because what we have works already. So I'm not going to go and do extra work to see if something might work. So yeah, I mean, if you guys have my indicators and you guys have my strategies, feel free to do whatever you want with them. Like, do like literally whatever you want with them. If you want to do a 1 to 3 risk toward, 1 to 4 risk toward, 1-to-1. If you want to do a completely different strategy and just use my indicators, that's completely fine. But I'm not going to do it. I'm for sure not going to do it, because look, who's saying, if you're making this much profit, like, let's just add up my profit for the day. Like, okay, this is just from today, right? 6,320 plus 6,120 plus 2,120 plus 2,120 plus 2510. So if you made this much today, Hussein, would you go and say, hey, I want to go try something completely different and see if it maybe works? I for sure would not do that. I would just keep doing this every day. So yeah, I mean, if you guys want to do something different, you guys are more than welcome, but I'm not going to go and like have a negative 19,000 to figure out if something works, right? And I'm consistent. You guys will see I trade like this every day. So it's not like I'm doing something different. I'm doing the same thing every day, something that works, and I'm doing it day after day after day. So it's just up to you guys, right? If this strategy and this trading style doesn't work for you guys, then don't do it, right? The thing that I would recommend is to never force a strategy on you. Like, I would never teach you guys how to swing trade, because I don't swing trade. Like, I don't swing trade, and I'm not going to teach you guys how to swing trade. I don't trade 1-to-1, 1-to-4. I'm not going to teach you how to trade that way. If I traded that way, then that's what would be taught in the course, and it would be traded here in the live sessions. But I don't trade that way. So, just figure out your trading style, and then trade that way. But this is my trading style, and this is how I'm going to trade. Yeah, so C6 said on top of it, you have all of us in the admin group testing the hell out of strategies. So that's 3 times everything test for the last 3 years. Yeah, no, trust me, if we found something that worked better than this, we'd have it by now. Like, we've been trading for a long time now. We have a whole testing group of people. If that idea worked, Hussein, it would have been introduced by now, but it hasn't. So if you want to be the first tester, feel free to test it. Let's see. Satyam said people don't understand that US30 flow is different than Forex, and we are scalping. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree 100%. The way that our style of trading is not like similar to a lot of other people. So, I mean, if my style doesn't work for you guys, then don't use it. I'm not gonna sell you guys on like using my trading style if it doesn't work for you. Because that's the thing that I hate too. If you guys ever go online and you see other people who teach trading, they're like, they act like their strategy is the only way to trade. Like they say that support resistance is the only way to trade, or supply and demand is the only way to trade. There's like hundreds, if not thousands of ways to trade out there, and they're all profitable. It's just, you got to figure out if it works for you. Yeah, Maria said, I believe Husseini is more of a swing trader than a scalper. You may want to consider to do what fits more for your personality. Yeah, no, and I agree with Maria 100%. So there's nothing wrong with what your question was, Hussein. It's just, we don't trade that way. So if you want to swing trade, or you want to trade something that like has a higher risk reward, then that's completely fine. You can do that, but we're not going to change the way we trade here because you think that that's better, right? Because obviously what we're doing here is better because we've been doing this. And if you look at a lot of traders, if you guys look back, like at a lot of traders who used to swing trade, everybody scalps now. Like we've been scalping for like 5 or 7 years now, but people are barely getting into scalping. And this is like the new thing for a lot of people. So yeah, I mean, market conditions change. I think scalping is probably the best way for me to trade, because I don't like to be in the trade for more than a couple minutes, or if not more than a couple hours. If you guys don't have the discipline to like scalp, then just don't scalp, right? Do something else. It's up to your preference, guys. Like if you guys can't have the discipline to follow the things, then it's just going to be difficult. Let's see. So Saints, it actually wasn't talking about these strategies which you've already developed, just asking in the future if you ever plan to develop. Probably not, because I just answered your question. You're saying that's not the way I trade. If I traded that way, those strategies would have been produced already, right? There are one-to-one strategies in the course, but that's like from when I used to trade Forex like years back. I trade US30 now. This is the main thing I trade. So no, I don't ever plan to develop that, because I'm not going to teach you guys something that I don't do. I only trade what I trade. I'm not going to just create a one-to-one strategy and say, hey, Hussein, here's a one-to-one strategy. Pay me like $1,000 a month for you to use my strategy. Like, no, bro, I'm not gonna sell you something that I don't use. I'm only gonna teach you what I'm actually training. Because if you want me to sell you something, I can. Okay, here, say, let's go on the 1 hour real quick. All right, here we go, Hussein. This is all you gotta do, bro. You want a one-to-one? Look at the momentum right here and the trend meter, and there goes your one-to-one strategy. Boom. All right, pay me $1 million. I'm like, bro, I can come up with a strategy right now if you really want a one-on-one strategy. There you go. This is like the original strategy. If you were a member like a long time ago, this is the intraday strategy. If you really want a one-to-one or a 1-to-3, like you just got to use your brain, guys. Like I've taught these strategies. This is how I know you haven't gone through the course, Hussein, because you're asking these questions and these strategies are actually in the course. So look, momentum, trend meter, 1-to-1. If you want a 1-to-4, go ahead and go for your 1-to-4. This strategy is in the course, Hussein. So if you want to go find a strategy, actually go through the course. So you got to go through all the videos. If you want to see that strategy, go down here to the intraday strategy, official intraday strategy, right? The same strategy that I just showed you right here, that's a 1-to-1 or 1-to-2. It's literally in the course. So yeah, if you want to see a 1-on-1, go and do that. But I don't apply it anymore. So I'm not going to teach you it because, well, I'm going to teach you it, but I'm not going to tell you, I'm not going to show you like entries all the time. But you can see here, there's like 3 entries. There's one right there, one right there. There's another one right here. The strategies are available to you guys, right? You guys have to just actually do the work. Because I taught the strategy to you guys like 7 years ago. It still works, but I just don't apply it anymore. So I'm not going to teach it to you. So yeah, I'm saying if you want to go back and watch these strategies, and if you really want a 1-to-2 or 1-to-3, there's strategies that are available in the course that teach you these strategies, and they work perfectly fine. So, jokes aside, guys, I'm just messing with you guys. I'm messing with you too, Hussein. I'm not I'm not trying to like ruffle any feathers. I'm just messing with you guys. So just keep that in mind. I'm not going to charge you for anything like that. Everything's in the course. We're saying just go through the course, right? If you want to look at the older strategies that have 1-to-1, all these strategies down here, scalp, intraday, swing, these are all 1-to-1. You just got to go down far enough and watch the videos down there, and you'll find them. But these up here are all scalping, because that's what I do now. I just scalp. So, take some time and watch the videos. because you'll find the strategy that you want on there. We trade based off momentum. So it doesn't matter if you apply my strategies for, yeah, exactly. Certain said pick one and master it. So guys, sorry, I know we went off topic, but there's no entries here for us to take anyways. All right, Sayyam said, thanks for 5 wins today, guys. See you on Monday. Yeah, no, definitely. And we'll see you back here on Monday. Sayyam had 5 wins today, 0 losses. Hussein is asking, since some are old, I wonder if the same TP stop loss still works. Yeah, I mean, if they didn't work, they wouldn't be a strategy. Hussein, those, like every strategy that I've created and I've shared with you guys, they've been tested like years and years back. Like a lot of those once-one strategies, I've tested those like maybe 10 to 20 years back. Like, and I have a back testing script for it. Like, look, I could even show you the back testing script. Look, I got a script right here. And look, if you really want to do those one-to-ones, if you trade this on the 1 minute, you have a 52% win rate. If you trade on the 1 hour, you have a 49% win rate. If you trade on the 4 hour, you have a 50% win rate. Like these strategies are different. You guys got to understand that not all these strategies work good on certain assets. Like 15-minute here doesn't work great. 10-minute here has a 57% win rate. Like all this stuff's been tested, right? I have this data here, 208 out of 218 trades, 57% win rate, profit factor, max drawdown, average trade. Yeah, I got a lot of stuff here, guys. So just, I mean, Hussein, just go back and watch the videos. That's going to be my first, my first word of advice to you. Go back and watch the videos and then find one strategy that works and get good at it. I feel like you're looking for that holy grail. You want something that like fits you perfectly, but you don't want to put in the work to like to actually get it down. So you got to actually put in the work and get it down. Find a strategy, try different variations, use different TP, different stop loss, but everything works. It's just, you know, there's no shortcuts to it. Like Sisu said, and like Stern said, there's no shortcuts. You can't just like join a course or join a program and then expect to like be the best at it right away. So yeah, I mean, we had our mentoring session, Hussein. So, you know, just figure out what you want to do. And then from there, we can answer and get you better at whatever you want to learn. So let me see if there's anything else here. All right, Ben Hart, we'll see you back here on Monday. Yeah, like Stern said, you know, if the strategies weren't working, I would have removed them. Exactly. So yeah, and CJ said it's best not to focus on what you could potentially lose in the way that we trade. We win way more than we lose. Plus your profits will be higher in the long run. Yeah, 100%. Natasha said, Sean would tell me all the time to find a strategy that works for me and stick to it. Yeah. Yeah, you know, my advice never changes, guys. If you guys want to find a strategy, just go through the entire course, find one that works for you, that you like to apply, that's like easy for you to identify, and then just master it. I can help you guys master it. It's just, you got to ask the right questions. Anyways, getting close to 8 o'clock. Let's see, Maddie. Let me see if I can mark up some stuff here. Yeah, I think if it cuts down below lower, Maddie. So let's see. I'm gonna make some adjustments right here. Yeah, Maddie, I think if it pulls down lower, actually, no, I think it's kind of risky. But yeah, the 1 hour trade is probably setting up soon at 8 o'clock. But all right, guys, if there's any other questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. I don't really see anything happening right here in the next 5 minutes. I know some of you guys are looking for the 1 hour trade here. The 1 hour trade might be setting up, but I don't like the way the market's currently moving right now. Typically, what I like to see is I like to see price retesting, or that it's already retested a support, because when it retests a support multiple times, that means that price is probably going to break through it, especially if there's a lot of stop losses sitting down below. So if, I mean, right now where price is currently at, I don't personally like where it's at right now, Maddie. Usually I would like it to be like, I would want the price to push up, retest, push up, retest, push up, and then blast through. That's usually what I would like to see, but we don't have that yet. Price hasn't even tested it once. So I think it might be a little risky, but I mean, doesn't necessarily mean it won't play out. There's no liquidity anywhere, guys. As I mentioned, unfortunately, liquidity was so far from current price that there's just nowhere for us to take any entries. So for today, I don't think there's any official entries, right? There's no V1s. I mean, I took my trades, but oh man, sorry guys, we're just having a side convo right now with with Andrew. All right, let me see if there's any profits here from you guys that sent me real quick. All right. Cool. All right, guys. So sorry, we're just having some kind of side convos about the weekend. If there's any questions that you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat. I don't think there's anything for us to take right now. Unfortunately, there were just no entries for us to take. If the buy signal comes up right here, Maddie, there's not going to be an entry, of course. So if you guys are looking for that 1 hour entry, you need to have the sell signal in place in line with the trend meter. But if it comes up with a buy signal, there's just not going to be any entry because you need to have momentum to be lined up with the trend meter on the 1 hour. Other than that, there's no V1 variations here. Unfortunately, guys, price has been around the red flags. So this is the main reason why I stopped applying the V1s. So if you guys are wondering why we stopped applying the V1s, it was because we came to a time period in the market where there was just red flags everywhere. Like there was news every hour. There was sessions everywhere. Price was always like in an area that we didn't want to trade in. So like these V1 variations were like impossible to take. So that's why we stopped applying the V1 variations. But now that price is kind of like moving a bit, also it goes hand in hand with liquidity, we can start applying the V1 variation. So, V1 is back in the mix. We are switching it out with the high level momentum scalp. High level momentum scalp is still okay, but it's not as good as it was before because price isn't necessarily moving very directional. It's moving more sideways and then it breaks out. So we're swapping out the high level momentum scalp with the V1 variation. I'll have to make some edits in the course so that you guys know what are the main strategies that we're applying. But other than that, I think that's about it. So if there's any questions that you guys have, feel free to pop into the chat. Otherwise, I think this might be it. So we got Eunice over here just sent in his profits. He said he took the high low momentum scalp on the 739 candle, almost hit stop loss, but hit TP at the end. So he kind of went into some drawdown. It shot back up. He locked in a total profit of 147. So nice work right here, Eunice. And Eunice is like one of the guys too that doesn't have the indicators. He just saw the setup right here on my chart and he took the trade. So he set this up right here. Said it almost went to a stop loss and then it blasted right through his TP. So I went into some drawdown right here. And again, this is another example, Hussein, where you can't have a 1-to-1. If you had a 1-to-1 here and your stop loss was at 100, you would have gotten stopped out. But since you have this safety net cushion right here, it went up and it hit Eunice's profit target right there. So nice work, Eunice. Great job on like holding the position. A lot of people would get scared and pull out for a loss, but Eunice over here trusted it. It went into drawdown, went right back up, and then it hit his full TP there for 147. So great work right there, Eunice. Other than that, I think that's about it. So if there's any questions, feel free to reach out, guys. Otherwise, I will see you guys back here on Monday for market open. So have a great weekend, guys.